We have spent time in the world of data. We have looked at the charts, the graphs, the strange and puzzling numbers sent back by the telescopes. We've talked about 3i Atlas, its unexpected green glow, its plume of vaporized nickel, and the massive jets of material that defy our neat explanations. It's fascinating. The mind loves a puzzle, and it races to find the solution. But now, let's just pause. Let's set the charts and the spectral lines aside for a moment. Let's step back from the calculations. Beyond all the data, I want to ask you a question. What do you feel when you look up into the darkness knowing that this thing, this visitor from another star, is at this very moment tumbling past the orbit of Mars? What does it stir inside you? Here we have an object born in a different solar system under a different sun. It has travelled for perhaps millions of years through the cold and the dark, and now it is right here in our home. And it is not behaving as we expected. It doesn't follow the rules we've written down for comets. It doesn't act like an asteroid. This is no longer just a problem for physics, it's a presence. It is a riddle delivered in person. And more than that, it is a reminder. Like Oumuamua before at 3i Atlas is a messenger. Think of it as a strange, silent bird from a continent we have never seen. It is a message in a bottle washed ashore from the true deep, the cosmic ocean. For so long we have thought of our solar system as our home, our perfect isolated island. We have our sun, our 8 planets in their stable, predictable orbits, our belts of rock and ice. It all feels so contained. It feels known. But these visitors, they shatter that comforting illusion. They prove to us that our home is not an island atoll. It is a port. It is a quiet bay on the edge of a vast interconnected ocean. And in this cosmic ecosystem, things are always moving. Objects are constantly drifting between the stars. Worlds are born, worlds die, and fragments of them, like seeds, are cast out, tumbling for eons through the dark, waiting to drift into another harbour, another small island of light just like ours. We are connected. Whether we see it or not, we are part of a galaxy that is constantly exchanging material, constantly in motion, constantly breathing. Right now, all over the world, the great telescopes are turning their gaze toward that faint green smudge of light. The most brilliant scientific minds of our time are racing against the clock. They have this brief, fleeting window, those 45 days in December, to capture as much light, as much data as they possibly can. They are all consumed by a single vital question: what is it? Is it a new kind of cometary body? Is it a fragment of an ocean world from another system? Is it something we have never even imagined? And that question is essential. We are a curious species. It is in our nature to seek to understand, to know. But tonight, you and I, we are not bound by that same urgency. We are not in the control room waiting for the data to download. We can let that frantic race for answers continue without us just for a while. We have the luxury of asking a different question, a gentler question. Not what is it, but what does this mean to us? What does it mean for us as a species to be suddenly confronted by the reality of visitors from afar? What does it change in our understanding of our own place in this universe? Knowing that we are not alone in this way that the universe is and always has been visiting. Let's use this messenger as our starting point. Let's take its arrival as an invitation. We are going to embark on a journey together right now, but we will not be travelling at its breakneck speed. We will not be hurtling through the vacuum at 42 miles per second. That is the speed of physics, the speed of rock and ice. No, we will travel at a different speed entirely. We will travel at the speed of thought, the speed of imagination. So let's leave 3i Atlas behind for a moment. In your mind, picture it receding its strange green tail, fading into the blackness. Let's leave behind the urgency of the December observation window. Let's leave the telescopes and the scientific debates. Let's just float. I want you to zoom out, pull your perspective back, see 3i Atlas not as a scientific target, but as a single tiny speck moving through our solar system. Zoom out further. See our sun now just a bright spark and the faint concentric circles of the planets orbiting it. Zoom out further still. Now our entire solar system is just one small point of light among many. We are on the arm of a vast spinning spiral of stars. We call it the Milky Way. And from here you can see the true context. You can see the great dark clouds of gas and dust where new stars are being born, and the fading embers of stars that died long ago. This is the ocean. This is the vast, dynamic and complex place that 3i Atlas calls home. We call it interstellar space, the space between the stars. It sounds empty, but it is not. It is a diffuse sea of gas dust and wandering magnetic fields. It is a nursery and it is a graveyard. In great cold dark clouds, gravity is slowly, patiently pulling atoms of hydrogen together. Over millions of years, these clouds collapse, spinning faster, growing hotter, until in a sudden violent blaze of nuclear fire a star is born, a new island of light, and around that star the leftover dust and gas, the very same material we see in 3i Atlas, the nickel, the carbon, the ice begins to clump together. It forms planets, it forms comets, it builds new homes, and just as it creates, the universe also recycles. Stars live their lives. Some, like our sun, will one day swell and cast off their outer layers. Others, far more massive, live fast and die young. They end their lives in a supernova, an explosion so bright it can outshine its entire galaxy. In that single furious moment, the star blasts all the elements it has forged, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, out into the void, seeding the next generation. This is the ecosystem. The gas from dead stars forms the clouds that build new stars. The planets that form are not always stale. Sometimes a planet is violently ejected from its own system, doomed to wander the dark alone. And sometimes a smaller object, a comet, an asteroid, just like 3i Atlas, is knocked loose by the pull of a giant planet. It gets flung out away from its home and begins its long, lonely journey. This object currently gracing our skies is a piece of that story. It is a survivor. It has travelled for 1 million years, 10 million, perhaps more. It is a tiny frozen capsule of information from a home we will never see. It carries the chemical fingerprint of its parent star. It's a single grain of sand from a distant unknown beach, and it has just washed up on our shore. This is the perspective these messengers give us. They force us to see the bigger picture. They remind us that our solar system, our sun, our Earth, we are not the point of the universe. We are just a part of it. A beautiful, complex, and incredibly lucky part, but a part nonetheless. So as we continue our journey tonight, let's hold that feeling of connection, that quiet sense of awe. We are leaving the harbour of our home system, using this strange messenger as our guide, and heading out into the open ocean. We are going to explore the neighbourhood, not just our own, but the vast galactic neighbourhood that we are only just beginning to realise we belong to. We continue our journey, moving beyond the familiar lights of our immediate family. The pull of our sun, that great warm anchor, is weakening. It is still the brightest star, a beacon we can use to find our way back, but it is no longer the ruler of this sky. It is just one more light among many. We are drifting past the orbit of Pluto, that distant frozen world that was once our system's lonely sentinel. We are crossing the boundary. This region is called the Kuiper Belt. It is not a solid wall, but a vast scattered field of debris, a ghostly ring of ice and rock surrounding our solar system. Think of it as the leftover construction material, the chips and sawdust from when the planets were built 4.5 billion years ago. Pluto is simply the largest and most famous resident of this icy twilight realm. There are thousands, perhaps millions, of other frozen bodies out here floating in the slow cold dark. We continue to drift faster than any machine humanity has ever built, yet we feel no sense of speed. The distances are too large. For years we coast outward, leaving the Kuiper Belt far behind us. Now we pause, and we turn around. We look back. From here, our entire solar system, the home of everything we have ever known, is gone. It has vanished. All of it, the Sun, the Earth, Jupiter, Saturn with its glorious rings, all of it is now contained within a single tiny faint speck of light. It is a pale, insignificant dot barely visible against the infinite backdrop of other stars. This is a profoundly humbling moment. Our whole world, our loves, our wars, our history all shrunk to a single pixel. But our system is larger than that pinprick of light. We are still inside our sun's domain, even though we can no longer see its planets. We are now floating through a new structure, the true final boundary of our home. It is called the Oort cloud. You cannot see the Oort cloud. It is not a belt. It is a bubble. A colossal, perfectly spherical shell of ice that encases our entire solar system. We are inside it now. This bubble is so enormous that light itself, the fastest thing in the universe, would take more than a year to cross it from one side to the other. It is a phantom realm. The cloud is made of trillions of comets, small icy bodies floating in the deep freeze. They are impossibly far apart. If you were floating in the middle of it, you would see nothing. The blackness would be total. This is the great cosmic refrigerator, the deep storage of our solar system. These comets are pristine, untouched samples from the very beginning of our story. They have been here in the dark since the sun itself was born. Occasionally, the gravity of a passing star or a slight nudge from the galaxy itself will disturb one of these sleeping comets. It will shake it loose from its billion-year orbit and send it falling, a lonely traveller on a journey of thousands of years down, down, down toward that tiny pinprick of light in the centre, toward the sun. This is where our comets come from. They are messengers from the absolute edge of our home. But you will remember our visitor, 3A Atlas, that strange green traveller that glowed and shed its skin. That visitor did not come from this cloud. It did not belong to our family. It came from outside this bubble. It was a true messenger, not from our own backyard, but from the great dark ocean beyond. It proved that the space between the stars is not empty, that other systems have their own stories, and sometimes they send us a postcard. Now we too will follow its path. We are pushing through the last thin outer edges of the Oort cloud. The sun's gravity has finally truly let us go. We have popped the bubble. We are leaving the neighbourhood. And as we do, we find ourselves entering the great ocean between the stars. We are now in interstellar space. The first thing you feel is the silence. It is a quiet so deep and profound that it presses in on you. The second thing you feel is the cold. It is a cold so empty, it is almost at the very bottom of temperature itself, a state scientists call absolute zero. The warmth of our sun is a distant memory. The space between the stars, the void. For a long time, humanity imagined this place was a true nothing, a perfect black, sterile emptiness. But it is not. It is an ocean. And like the oceans on Earth, it is not empty. It just has a different kind of life. It is filled with a thin, almost non-existent mist of hydrogen gas, the oldest and simplest element, the building block of everything. There are lonely atoms floating millions of miles apart from each other. But over these vast distances, it all adds up. As we drift, we begin to see new structures. They are not solid like planets. They are like fog banks in the ocean. Vast, ethereal, beautiful clouds of dust and gas. They are dark, obscuring the stars behind them. Some are delicate and wispy like fine silk. Others are thick and clotted like cosmic smoke. These are the nebulae. These are the places where the cosmos recycles itself. When a giant star reaches the end of its life, it explodes in a massive, brilliant burst called a supernova. For a brief moment, it shines brighter than a billion suns. This explosion seeds the ocean. It blasts out all the heavy elements it created in its core, the iron, the carbon, the oxygen, the gold. All the elements that make up our bodies and our world. These elements are scattered into space where they mix with the hydrogen gas enriching it. They form these new vast clouds. These clouds are not dead. They are the stellar nurseries. They are the gardens of the cosmos. We drift closer to one. It is enormous, spanning many light years. Inside, in the cold, dark, quiet heart of the cloud, a new miracle is beginning. Gravity, the silent, patient sculptor of the universe, is at work. It is gently, slowly pulling the dust and gas together. Over millions of years, tiny grains become small clumps become larger cores. The cores get denser and denser, pulling in more and more material, spinning faster and faster as they collapse. Finally, in the very center of this spinning disk of dust, the pressure and temperature becomes so extreme that a new fire is lit, a nuclear furnace ignites. A star is born. A new sun, burning yellow and bright, bursts into life, blowing away the remaining dust from its cocoon. And in the spinning disk of leftover material that surrounds it, new planets will begin to form. This is where the light comes from. This is where new suns are blossoming right now in the dark. We are floating through the very stuff of creation. We drift for an impossibly long time past these nurseries, past lonely wandering stars, past the ghosts of stars that died long ago. We are travelling on a new path, a grander one. We are moving up. Imagine we are in a great flat city. We can see the lights of our street, but we cannot understand the shape of the city itself. To do that, we must find a high place, a mountain, to look down. So we travel up, perpendicular to the great disk of stars. We move thousands and thousands of light years away. And finally we stop. We are far away now, floating in the great empty halo above our home. And we look back. Now we are seeing our home for the very first time. The Milky Way. It is no longer that gentle, misty streak you see on a clear summer night. When you were on Earth, you were inside it. You were a single person in a single house looking out your window through the city. All you could see was a band of blurry light. From here you see it all, the grand design. It is a structure. It is a magnificent, colossal, spinning city of light. It is a pinwheel of impossible scale, a grand spiral, a hurricane of stars. It is so large that the light from one end takes 100,000 years to reach the other. 100,000 years travelling at the speed of light. It is a flat disk, thicker in the middle and thinner at the edges, and it is spinning. The entire structure is in motion, a slow, graceful cosmic dance. The disk is made of great sweeping spiral arms like the arms of a spinning galaxy. These arms are defined by bright young blue stars and the glowing pink and red clouds of the stellar nurseries we just passed through. It is a city of 400 billion lights, 400 billion stars. Let that number sink in, 400 billion. That is more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. And we know now that most of those stars, those suns, have their own planets. This city is not just 400 billion lights. It is a city of trillions of worlds, an unfathomable number of possibilities. Like any great city, it has a downer. Look at the centre. It is not flat like the arms. It is a great thick glowing hub, a bright golden bulge of stars. This is the galactic core. Here the stars are packed together thousands of times more densely than in our neighbourhood. They are older stars glowing in warm shades of red and yellow. The light from this central hub is so brilliant it's almost blinding. It's a place of incredible beauty and incredible chaos. If you lived there, your night sky would be a solid blaze of light. It is a brilliant, golden, and crowded place. And at its very heart, in the most central, most crowded, most chaotic spot in the entire city, it is dangerous. There is a monster at the centre of our galaxy. At the very, very centre, hidden from view by all that light and dust, is the city's dark secret. It is called Sagittarius A star. It is a supermassive black hole. Do not picture a hole like a vacuum cleaner. It is not. It is a point of gravity. It is an object with the mass of 4 million of our suns all crushed down into a single point smaller than the orbit of Mercury. It's a point of such immense density, such powerful gravity that nothing can escape it. Once you cross its boundary, its event horizon, you are lost forever. Not even light, the fastest thing in existence, can pull away. This is the dark anchor. This is the gravitational heart. The entire city of 400 billion stars, our sun included, is spinning in a great cosmic orbit around this single dark invisible point. It is a monster, yes, but it is our monster. It is the engine that keeps the city turning. It is the centre of our home, but we do not live there. We are not in the chaotic, blazing, dangerous downtown. So where are we? This is our position in the galaxy. Look from this high vantage point. Look out from the glowing centre past the dense bulge. Follow the great sweeping spiral arms outward. We are not in a major arm, we are not on a main highway. We live in the suburbs. Our sun, that tiny speck of light we left so long ago, is located in a quiet, smaller partial arm. It's a little spur that bridges the gap between two of the great main arms. It's called the Orion spur or the Orion arm. We are about 27,000 light years from the downtown core. That's about halfway between the centre and the absolute edge of the city. It is the perfect location. If we were in the centre, the intense radiation and the chaotic gravity of all those stars would likely have destroyed our planet or prevented life from ever forming. If we were too far out in the sparse, empty edges of the galaxy, there would not have been enough heavy elements. Not enough of that recycled stardust, the carbon, the iron, the oxygen needed to build rocky planets like Earth or creatures like us. We are in the Goldilocks zone of the galaxy, the habitable zone. We are in a perfect, quiet suburban neighbourhood. We are close enough to the city to see its splendour. From Earth, we can look in on a dark night and see the beautiful glowing band of the city's core. We are far enough away to be safe, and we are far enough away to look out. From our quiet little arm, we can look in the other direction away from the city's lights and see the great dark ocean. We can see the other islands of light, the other galaxies floating in the distance. This is our place. This is our cosmic address. We are on a small rocky planet third from its star. That star is in a quiet suburban neighbourhood called the Orion Spur, and that spur is part of a vast spinning spiral city of light called the Milky Way. This is our home, and from here, floating high above, we can finally see it in all of its silent, spinning, impossible glory. And we realise we are not just in the universe. We are a part of it. We are the universe watching itself. We have drifted now far beyond the misty, colourful clouds of the Orion Nebula, past the quiet outer arms of our own galaxy. The bright, chaotic neighbourhood of our solar system is gone. The disk of the Milky Way, once a river of light spanning our entire sky, has shrunk. From here, in the deep, quiet dark, our home is a spectacular, shining city of light, a spiral of impossible beauty turning slowly in the silence. It is our island, a single glowing structure floating in an ocean of profound blackness. But it is not the only island. As we look out from this new vantage point, we see another. In the distance, a faint glowing smudge larger even than our own home. This is the Andromeda Galaxy. In the skies of Earth, it is a whisper of light visible only to the keenest eye on the darkest night. From here, it is the sibling city, a grand spiral of perhaps 1 trillion stars. It too is an island of matter and light in the great emptiness. These two great islands, our Milky Way and Andromeda, are not static, they are moving. Pulled by the invisible, persistent hand of gravity, they are sailing toward one another across the cosmic sea. They are destined to meet. We often hear this described as a collision, a word that brings to mind violence and destruction. But the universe on these scales operates on a different timeline. This is not a crash, it is a merger, a dance. It is a slow-motion waltz that will unfold over the next 4 or 5 billion years. When these two great cities of stars finally meet, they will not crash and shatter. Instead, they will pass through one another like two graceful clouds. The spaces between the stars are so vast that it is unlikely any two stars will actually collide. Instead, gravity will weave them together. Their spiral arms will be drawn out into long flowing tendrils of stars, a process that will light up the space around them with the birth of billions of new suns. Over hundreds of millions of years they will settle, merging into one single enormous elliptical galaxy. A new grander island born from the union of two. But as the prompt reminds us, do not worry. This meeting is billions of years away, a slow creative process on a timeline we can barely comprehend. But these two massive islands are not alone in this part of the ocean. As we adjust our perspective, we see they are the two largest members of a small village of galaxies. This is our local neighbourhood known as the local group. It is a small cluster, a family bound by gravity. Besides the Milky Way and Andromeda, there are dozens of smaller dwarf galaxies. We see the Triangulum Galaxy, a smaller spiral, and the Large and Small Magellanic Clouds, two irregular satellite villages that orbit our own Milky Way, visible from Earth's southern hemisphere like two faint detached pieces of our galaxy's river of light. This local group is like a small archipelago of islands separated by a few million light years of dark, empty ocean. They are all connected, all moving with and around one another, a single family in the vastness. It is our cosmic home, our local address. Let us pull back again. Let us zoom out further and further until our entire local group, our grand Milky Way, the massive Andromeda and all their smaller neighbours shrinks. It becomes just one small point of light among many. Where are we now? Are in the suburbs of a cosmic metropolis. Our village of the local group is just one tiny part of an immense structure. This is the Virgo supercluster. We are no longer looking at dozens of galaxies. We are now looking at thousands. Imagine a structure so vast it spans over 100 million light years. At the centre of this structure is a massive, dense collection of galaxies called the Virgo cluster. Think of this as the downtown core of the supercluster. It is a brilliant, dense region of space containing over 1,000 galaxies, many of them giant elliptical galaxies, old and golden, their star-forming days long over. Our local group is on the outskirts in the suburbs of this great supercluster. And everything in this structure, our Milky Way included, is being pulled slowly but inevitably toward that massive central core. This pull is sometimes called the Great Attractor, a region of immense gravitational power that shapes the flow of our entire cosmic neighbourhood. At this scale, the universe is no longer empty. We see a vast collection of shining islands, thousands of them. Each one is a galaxy. Each one is a city of billions of stars, billions of planets, and billions of possibilities. Some are spirals like our own bright with new stars. Some are faded ellipticals. Some are shattered irregular shapes, remnants of past mergers. It is a breathtaking, sprawling city of light. But we must make one final leap. We must pull back as far as we can possibly go until even the entire Virgo supercluster with its thousands of galaxies is just one small glowing speck. What do we see now? We see the universe, we see the final grandest picture. And it is not random. It is not just a chaotic scattering of galaxies. We see a structure. The universe on its largest scale is woven into a magnificent, intricate pattern. It is known as the cosmic web. It looks like a delicate glowing network, like the filaments of a spiderweb or the intricate branching of a nerve cell. The superclusters, the great collections of galaxies like our own Virgo supercluster, are not scattered randomly. They are arranged in long, delicate threads and massive, dense walls. These are the filaments of the cosmic web. They are the great highways of the universe, flowing rivers of galaxies stretching for hundreds of millions of light years, connecting the dense nodes of the web. Our Virgo supercluster is just one part of one of these filaments, and between these glowing threads, what lies in the space between the web, here we find the voids. These are the most profound, the largest and the quietest places in the cosmos. These are regions of almost perfect, unimaginable emptiness. They are vast, dark oceans, hundreds of millions of light years across, containing almost nothing. No galaxies, no light, no matter. If our galaxy were in the middle of one of these voids, we would look up at the night sky and see Nothing. No Milky Way, no Andromeda, just the stars of our own small island alone in a darkness that stretches in every direction for a distance that defies imagination. This is the grand structure of cosmology, a universe of light and shadow, a cosmic architecture of something and nothing. The something is the web, the glowing filaments where matter has gathered, drawn by gravity to form stars, planets and galaxies. The nothing is the voids, the beautiful peaceful emptiness from which the web has been spun. It is a structure of breathtaking scale and elegance, a delicate balance between matter and the void, between the bright clustered islands of light and the deep, silent oceans of darkness that separate them. And as we float here suspended at the ultimate vantage point, we can finally see the entirety of the cosmic ocean, a tapestry of light life and profound, peaceful emptiness. Let us return now to that question. Hold that image in your mind, the one we saw together. The deep, dark velvet of space pierced not just by a few pinpricks of light, but by a tapestry woven from entire galaxies. Billions of them, islands of light, each one containing hundreds of billions of stars and likely trillions of planets. We zoomed out so far that our own Milky Way, our entire home, became just one of those countless smudges of light. Feel the scale of that, the true mind-bending immensity of it all. And now standing here on our tiny blue world, looking out at that impossible ocean of existence, let us ask the question again. Let us ask it with the full weight of that knowledge in our hearts. Who are we in all of this? If we are small, does that mean we are insignificant? If we are one of trillions, does our single life matter? The cosmos is so vast and we are so very, very small. It is easy to feel lost. It is easy to feel that we are nothing. But there is another part to this picture. A part that is just as vast and just as mysterious. We call it the Great Silence. We look up at that sky filled with trillions of possibilities and we see nothing. We hear nothing. With all of those stars and all of those planets, why do we not see anyone else? This is not a new question. Scientists have been asking it for decades. They call it the Fermi paradox. The math is simple. In our galaxy alone, there should be millions of planets that are just like Earth. Planets that are the right temperature with liquid water with the right ingredients for life. And our galaxy is ancient. It is more than 13 billion years old. There has been more than enough time for life to arise, to become intelligent, to build civilizations and to spread across the stars. Their signals should be crisscrossing the cosmos. We should see their lights, we should hear their broadcasts, their music, their messages. We have built enormous metal ears, great radio telescopes pointed at the heavens, and we have listened. We have listened for decades. And all we hear is the echo of the universe's birth, the quiet cosmic static, the whisper of stars being born and stars dying. But of them, of anyone else, there is only silence, a great, profound and unending silence. What is the meaning of this silence? This is perhaps the greatest question we have ever asked, and the answers, the possible answers, change everything about who we are. Perhaps the silence means that life is simply unimaginably rare. Perhaps the recipe that created us is so complex, so fragile that it has only happened once right here. Think of the lottery we won. To be on a planet with a stable star, to have a large moon that steadies our world and gives us tides. To have giant planets like Jupiter far out in our solar system, acting as cosmic shields sweeping up the asteroids and comets that would have otherwise destroyed us. To have water, to have an atmosphere, to have plate tectonics that recycle our world's minerals. To have that one single spark billions of years ago that turned simple chemistry into the first living cell. Maybe that chain of events, that perfect cascade of good fortune, is a 1 in a trillion chance. If that is true, then the silence is not empty. It is just ours. It means that we right here are the only ones. We are the first flicker of awareness in an entire galaxy. It means that our small world is not just a home, it is a sanctuary. It is the only place in this vast darkness where the universe has woken up. Or perhaps the silence means something else. Perhaps life is common, but the distances are simply too great. Perhaps the universe is filled with civilizations, but they are like islands in an ocean too vast to cross. They are shining their lights and we are shining ours, but none of us can see the other. The light from the nearest star, just the nearest one, takes more than 4 years to reach us. Traveling at the fastest speed the universe allows, our entire galaxy is 100,000 light years across. Our radio signals, the first ones we ever sent, have only travelled a tiny microscopic bubble around our star. The galaxy is filled with calls, but we cannot hear them, and they cannot hear us. We are all shouting into a storm separated by an isolation we cannot overcome. Or perhaps, and this is a stranger thought, perhaps civilizations, when they become old and wise, become quiet. Maybe they discovered that shouting into the dark is dangerous, or maybe they simply outgrow the need to. Maybe they have turned inward, exploring universes within their own minds. Maybe they have learned to communicate in ways we cannot even imagine using light or gravity or particles we have not yet discovered. The universe might be humming with conversation, but we simply do not have the right kind of radio to tune in. But there is one more possibility, one that is both simple and profound. Perhaps the universe is silent because it is waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for us. This is where the grand cosmic scale suddenly pivots and turns back toward you. This is where the story of the universe becomes your story. Think about this. Every single atom in your body, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon that forms the architecture of your cells, every piece of you was created in the stomach of a star that lived and died billions of years ago. You are not just living in the universe, you are the universe. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it does not just fade away. It explodes in a supernova, a blast of light and energy so powerful it outshines its entire galaxy. In that fiery explosion, it forges all the heavy elements. It creates the gold, the silver, the oxygen, the iron, and it scatters those new precious ingredients across space like a farmer sowing seeds. Those seeds, those atoms of stardust, drift for billions of years. They gather into clouds. Those clouds collapse to form new stars and new planets. And on one of those planets, our Earth, those atoms came together. They formed rocks and water and the air. And then through a miracle we still do not understand, they came together to form life. They formed you. The iron in your blood that carries oxygen to your brain right now. It once raced through the core of a star 15 times bigger than our sun. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are not an alien visitor on this planet. You are the literal, physical continuation of that cosmic story. You are breathing, walking, thinking stardust. And this brings us to the most beautiful realization of all. We are the way the universe knows itself. For billions of years, those atoms of iron and carbon and calcium existed, but they did not know they existed. They were just dust in a cloud. They were just rock on a lifeless world. They were just minerals dissolved in a vast empty ocean. The universe was magnificent, but it was asleep. It had no eyes to see its own beauty. It had no mind to understand its own scale. And then you opened your eyes. That collection of stardust, you became aware. When you look up at the night sky and feel a sense of awe that is not just you, that is the universe looking at itself and feeling awe. When you feel love for another person, that is the universe connecting with itself. When you ask that question, who am I? That is the universe which has been silent for so long, finally having a voice to ask about its own identity. You are a part of the universe that has woken up. You are the sensory organs of the cosmos. You are the observers. You are the contemplators. So what does the Great Silence mean? It means that our voice, our awareness, is the most precious and extraordinary thing we have ever discovered. In all this vastness, we may be the only ones who can appreciate it. The silence is not a void. It is a backdrop. It is the quiet canvas that allows our one small, fragile voice, our art, our science, our music, our questions to have meaning. We are the ones who get to see the light of those billions of galaxies. We are the ones who get to wonder about them. We are the universe's consciousness. And this changes our question. It is no longer who are we in all of this. The question is, what will we do with this amazing precious gift of awareness? What will we do as the part of the cosmos that has finally woken up? And as you rest, as you drift, you carry that knowledge. You are not small, you are not insignificant. You are the universe contemplating the stars, and that makes you truly cosmic. And now our journey must turn. We have travelled to the very edge of understanding, to a place of strange green light and cosmic questions. We have stood in the darkness, witnesses to a mystery, but the universe is not just out there. It is also in here. It is time to come home. Let us begin the journey back. Pull your awareness back from that cold, distant point in space. We leave the mystery of Three-Arch Atlas to its silent journey. We turn our gaze away from that single wandering object and begin to zoom out and out and out. We pull back so far that the entire galaxy it is drifting through becomes just one more point of light among billions. We are now adrift in the largest structure we know, the cosmic web. This is the grand architecture of reality. We float in the immense quiet dark, looking at the universe on its grandest scale. We see the filaments of light, the great cosmic highways woven from pure gravity, connecting clusters of galaxies like pearls on a string. These threads stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, glowing with the energy of 1,000 trillion stars. And between these threads we see the voids, the great dark, empty rivers of almost perfect nothingness. It is beautiful, it is vast, it is everything. But even here we know our address. From this unimaginable vantage point we begin to drift. We are pulled by a gentle, familiar current. We are returning. We leave the grand, impersonal web and fall toward one of its brighter intersections. This is our supercluster. We call it Virgo. It is a sprawling city of light, a massive collection of over 2,000 galaxies, all moving together, all bound by a shared gravity. We fly past them, each one a universe in itself. Some are great beautiful spirals like our own. Others are huge blazing ovals, ancient and golden. We pass them all like islands in a dark sea. We are on the outskirts of this great city. We are looking for our own quiet neighbourhood. And there it is, a small humble cluster of galaxies we call the local group. It's not as large as the giants at the centre of Virgo, but it is ours. And within this group, one galaxy in particular calls to us. We see it from a distance, a majestic spinning disk of light, a river of stars flowing through the dark. This is our home, the Milky Way. From here outside it is a perfect spiral. We can see the bright, dense, glowing core, a ballroom of old yellow stars. We see the great sweeping arms, dusty and blue speckled, with the fire of new stars being born. It turns slowly, elegantly, a pinwheel of 100 billion suns. It is our island universe and we are going home. We approach the edge of the disk and gently we cross the threshold. We are no longer in the empty dark between galaxies. We are inside. We fly into one of the great spiral arms. It is not the grandest arm, not the brightest, but a quiet suburban spur. We call it the Orion Arm. All around us now are our neighbours. Stars drift past us. Some are young and hot and blue. Some are ancient red and swollen. We pass clouds of colourful gas cosmic nurseries where new solar systems are just beginning to form. We drift through this beautiful stellar neighbourhood, moving with purpose, looking for one particular star. It is not the biggest. It is not the brightest. It is a humble, steady yellow-white lamp in a quiet part of the arm. But as we get closer, we feel its warmth. We see its light. It is our sun. We have found it. We are home. We fly into this solar system, our system. The journey accelerates as we fall toward that familiar light. We pass the great guardians of the outer system, the giant worlds of gas and ice. We pass the silent, majestic rings of Saturn. We pass the immense, swirling storms of Jupiter. We cross the belt of asteroids, the rocky remnants of our system's birth. We pass the red, dusty plains of Mars, a cold amber ember in the sun's glow. And then we see it. Ahead of us, a jewel. A shining beacon of blue and white spinning in the dark. This is Earth, our world. It is a marble of swirling cloud, deep, profound blue oceans, and the familiar shapes of continents. It is alive. From here, we can feel the pulse of its life, the only life we know for sure in all the cosmos. We see the dark side glittering with the electric constellations of human cities. We see the bright side glowing in the daylight. We descend. Gently, gently, we fall toward our planet. We drift through the thin, high layers of the atmosphere, a fragile blue shield protecting us all. We pass through the clouds, soft and white. We drift down over the oceans, over the land, over the sleeping towns and quiet countryside. We drift down toward this very place, this very home. We pass through the roof of this very building and settle gently into this room. You are back. Your journey is over. You are no longer flying through the cosmos. You are here. Feel the reality of this moment. Feel the weight of your body sinking gently into the bed. Feel the comfort of the mattress supporting you. Feel the softness of the blankets and the pillow against your skin. You are safe. You are grounded. Shift your awareness from the sights of the universe to the sounds of your room. Listen to the quiet, and inside that quiet, listen for the sound of your own breath. Just follow it, a gentle, easy rhythm. Breathing in and breathing out. There is no effort. Your body knows exactly what to do. This breath is your anchor. It connects your body to this moment, to this room. Every breath in brings calm and peace. Every breath out lets go of the day, lets go of the journey. The great mystery of 3 Atlas is still out there. It is flying through the dark, carrying its secrets, a messenger from an unknown place. The scientists will continue to watch. They will gather more data. They will debate and they will wonder. The universe will keep unfolding its great story. But for tonight, our work is done. Your work is done. Our job was not to solve the mystery. Our job was to see it, to be humble before it, to feel the wonder. We travelled from the infinitely large to this single quiet room. We touched the infinite and we have returned. You are not separate from that great dreaming cosmos. You are a part of it. You are the universe itself experiencing thinking and wondering. You are the cosmos become aware. And now it is time for this part of the universe to rest. It is time to let go of all thoughts, all questions, all wonders. It is time to drift into a different kind of darkness, the gentle healing darkness of sleep. You are home. You are safe. All is well. Good night.